Okay. I know I'm a wreck right now. I know that. Because I was doing something. But I said, let me double check, make sure my video went up all right. I just posted it and then I just went on about my day because I had stuff to do. I said, well, let me go check. You know, I got a minute. Let me check, make sure the video went up. Nobody's sending me a message going, girl, the whole thing is a blur. And I'm like, are they trying to tell me that I got digital wrong too? Because I see your comments. I see your comments. I see your comments. But see, with blood, sweat, and tears, you was like, well, girl, go read the book. You don't know what you're talking about. Go read the book. I see you. I still love you. But I see you. So I come in here and it's like, there's an explanation that explains the song. I'm like, what I get wrong? You can't have me out here in these YouTube streets looking crazy now. There's some things I got in the video. Some things I feel like I got in the video. And then that's why I opened up the explanation so I wouldn't be looking crazy. Because I said, I don't get it. So I put my explanation and then I supported documentation at the end of the video. And y'all still talking about me. You know what? Since I don't have to read a book, okay, since you referred me to a video, I said, you know what? I got 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes. I'm looking crazy as hell. Turn on that damn camera. Turn it on. Because I want to see how far off I was. How far off could I have been? See, I hear y'all too. I can hear you talking about me right now. I hear you now. Let's see. If I'm wrong, if I'm off, if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong. If I'm off, I'm off. If I missed it, I missed it. I even said that in the video. But y'all see. Okay. We gonna see. We gonna see right now. This is, and it's pronounced August. Thank you so much for letting me know that it wasn't agustD, it was agustD, even though it's missing the letter U. Okay. All right. Whatever. All right. I'm a quick study. Okay. I put in by DAECHWITA TV because that's what it seems like you kept referring. Several of you kept referring to DAECHWITA. There were, I think, a couple of other ones, but the one that kept coming up was this one by DAECHWITA, and then it said as explained by a Korean. Okay, so we getting ready to see just how far off or on the mark I was.
Suga has delivered another hard-hitting mixtape titled D2. The first agustD album, released in 2016, focused on the tough time Suga faced when he was a teenager. Suga's at a very different place now. He's much older and he's much more successful. And this album focuses on the changes of his feelings after becoming one of music's biggest superstars. It's a very honest album, and my personal favorite off of this is the title track, 대취타. It's an ultimate flex track / warning.
대취타. I'm gonna end up learning Korean because I like to get things right, and he said it a little bit differently. I'll get it.
/ reminder with tons of historical references, so let's take a look into it.
Yeah.
대취타 is Korean traditional marching music that was played when kings or royalty were moving about or important guests would visit, as well as when army would be marching. There are two main characters in this music video, a king Suga.
Hold up. I had already looked that up. So I started with I wanted to know what it meant. But fun fact, when army was marching, my question is the reason why you guys call yourself army, like, is there a connection to, is there a uniquely specific reason why you guys call yourself army versus BTSers or the you know what I'm saying? The BTSs, like, you know what I mean? Normally, a fandom is, you know, usually I shouldn't say the name is usually related to, but I always thought that army was a little unusual. Like, I couldn't make the connection. If you said, okay, Beyonce's fandom is called the Beehive, it's like, oh, okay, that's cute. I get the relationship. And Eminem's fandom, which I'm very much part of, we're stans. And because I know the history, okay, makes sense. But BTS and army, it's like, huh? Like, I never got that connection. So for him to say that DAECHWITA is a chant, and that connection, how did he word that?
Royalty were moving about or important guests would visit, as well as when army would be marching.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying, is the fact that you guys chose army significant, or is it just a coincidence for the topic that we just happened to be talking about? So, and what he said just made me curious about that, if there was a connection to why you call yourselves army. That's my question. Did that make sense? Okay.
There are two main characters in this music video, a king Suga and a bottom class Suga. We can see that the king Suga is a tyrant. He has everyone kneeling down with the faces down in the ground. And he beheads people who have complaints in this scene. You can see the Shinmungo here. People in the Joseon dynasty would hit this drum if they had something that they've been wronged. They'd hit this drum and the king or someone up in the hierarchy would come and sort out their problems. Except here, King Suga is killing the people who have such complaints and issues. But the bottom class Suga, with the help of BTS and army represented by the 6 other men and a woman in the scene.
Oh, there she is. I ain't paying no attention to her. I just didn't even see her. But anyway.
BTS and army represented by the 6 other men and a woman in the scene starts a coup. He drives up a car with the men representing BTS and also a cute painting of Bang PD. By the way, this painting had...
I even had made a comment about the painting. and how the picture ended up being the original reason how I found BTS, period. And I even said that of all names that I couldn't remember, Jungkook, who drew the picture, the article was about Jungkook and the joke he made because the picture was used somewhere. And it was just a little, obviously it was just a doodle sketch. And of the guy that started the business. And apparently the guys liked it, but he used it in something, and Jungkook made the joke in an article or in a video or at some point that he should get royalties for it because the Bang guy used it. But it was all in fun and it was a joke. And when I saw it come up on YouTube, whatever it was, it attracted my attention and I clicked on it because I wanted to see the artwork. And that was the picture that I saw. I even referenced that. So I didn't even miss that little detail. I didn't even miss that. But that's okay. That's all right. That's all right. I should have a little scoreboard going up here. Y'all ain't gonna be talking about me. I don't care. I don't care.
Its origins in a Jungkook drawing of Pang PD. It's pretty funny. The King Suga sees this and gives a thumbs down and captures the bottom class Suga. The King Suga wants to kill him and does this graceful sword dance, which apparently Suga learned in 2 days. Meanwhile, bottom class Suga, blindfolded and tied down, starts headbanging, singing Techita. Remember how I told you that Techita was played when kings were about, or when the army would be marching? The bottom class Suga singing this is an announcement that he is actually the real king. He feels like he's the king.
Boom! Tell me I didn't say that in the video. Tell me I didn't say they're not supposed to be doing that. Tell me, what did I was saying? He said something about spitting in your face. Or the smirk on your face. I said something like that. But I was like, why is he acting like that? And I said, it's probably why he was acting like that. Tell me, don't I get a point? Okay.
The people under the king, the very ones that were kneeling to him in the beginning, are now joining Suga, headbanging with him. This Techita is also for them. These kneeling people are armies marching together with the bottom class Suga. At the end,
y'all play too much. See, y'all play too much. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. Okay, so I only got one of them right. But that's all right.
Executioner who was supposed to take down the bottom class Suga actually frees him and gives him a gun. Bottom class Suga grabs this and shoots the king. I think the MV and the song is a metaphor for BTS and ARMY taking down the existing system and the ruling forces of the industry. The King Suga represents the system, the existing system, the few powerful companies that had control over the industry before BTS came to the scene. Bottom class Suga is Suga himself in a small company with basically nothing, as if he was born into a bottom class, and winning the people over, eventually taking down the king with BTS and armies.
Okay. The industry didn't even cross my mind. So I'm going to give you a point for that. Okay. But here's my argument. Suga's a genius. Was I supposed to? He's a genius. He's a genius. I wasn't supposed to get that because he's a genius. You didn't know either. You read it somewhere else. You did know.
I think Suga picked the perfect motif to convey his message. And if you look at the historical references, you'll be more amazed at how clever this all is. Well, this single verse has a lot to unpack, but let's just start with this line. The Joseon dynasty, which is most likely where this song is set in, had a strict class system where there was a heavy discrimination based on which class you were born into. Slaves were not even considered human. They would be traded in cases their owners didn't have enough money, and they were thought of more as just things. Think about the mistreatment that BTS received earlier on in their careers. They faced heavy discrimination due to them being from a small company, and they were mistreated. So it's easy to understand why Suga called himself a slave here. Slaves in Joseon were almost completely blocked off from advancing to higher classes, so for a slave to become a king is basically impossible. But Suga's saying he made it happen. The following line is a reference to Kwang Hae-gun, the king of Joseon dynasty in the 17th century. He developed paranoia while in power and notoriously became violent and reckless, hence the line, "Berserk Tiger, Kwang Hae flow." But I think there are more reasons Suga referenced Kwang Hae in the lyrics, especially if you consider what his life was like. Kwang Hae-gun had a very roller coaster of a life. Originally, he was a war hero, defending Joseon against the Japanese invasion of 1592, one of the biggest wars in Korean history. His father, who was then king, had fled when the war broke out, and the 18-year-old Prince Kwang Hae led Joseon troops in the battlefield. Rarely at this time did kings or to-be kings go out into the battlefield themselves. So Kwang Hae, fighting with the people, won their hearts over, and there were movements to throne him as the king instead of his father. The father felt threatened by this, so he made a lot of political efforts to stop Kwang Hae from gaining influence. Eventually, Kwang Hae became stuck between two large political powers, and this struggle eventually made Kwang Hae go paranoid and become violent and reckless. Ultimately, he was dethroned after a coup. I think Suga somewhat relates to Kwang Hae as he himself had been through a tough adolescence, having to go out into the battlefield at an early age, just like Kwang Hae did. He was an idol with no money, from a small company stuck in an industry dominated by big corporations. When Suga started winning battles and gaining power, he must felt a lot of efforts from the existing big powers to keep him away from the throne, like what Kwang Hae experienced from his father when the people wanted him to become the king. Suga mentions putting his past in the rice chest. For many Koreans, the word Twiju, or rice chest, is strongly connected to the tragic story of Sadoseja, which involves him dying in a rice chest. Sadoseja was the son of then King Yeongjo, and his father was extremely harsh on him, humiliating him and scolding him in front of others at a very early age. This became so severe that Sadoseja attempted to commit suicide a few times, but even then, he was treated terribly. He developed what modern doctors diagnose as bipolar disorder and began acting very violently. Eventually, the king ended up hating Sadoseja so much that he orders Sadoseja to go into a rice chest. Sadoseja went in, and he was stuck inside for 8 days and eventually starved to death. Sadoseja had a troubled life, filled with being humiliated and mistreated, and mental health issues just not being understood. Suga has been pretty open about his mental health issues he had when he was growing up, and I think he relates to Sadoseja. He sees himself in him. He says he's putting his past in the rice chest. It's a declaration that he's putting the old troubled Yoongi, the Sadoseja Yoongi, behind and looking at what's ahead of him. In the second verse, Suga focuses more on how he's now on the throne and he's better than everybody else. Suga directly name drops Bang PD and also takes a shot at other artists who do drugs thinking that they write better music while they're high.
Oh, he was talking about other artists. Okay, I was trying to find the relationship in him speaking to someone directly. And I think one of the comments was that he wasn't dissing anybody. And I'm thinking, well, he was talking about somebody. That was a direct shot. That was a shot fired. Who? I don't know. But that was a direct shot. And even he says, I'm not naming any names, but there's several different people that you can put at the butt end of that. And I totally agree. Do I have to lose a point? I don't think so. I think I get a point for that. I think I get a point for that. Forget y'all.
The diss aside, this line is also a glimpse into Bang PD's relationship with BTS. In a typical company, it'd be also a glimpse into Bang, in fact.
Ooh, boy!
The diss aside.
Oh, the diss aside. Okay, I'm not, you know what? Whatever.
This line is also a glimpse into Bang PD's relationship with BTS. In a typical company, it'd be extremely difficult to even mention the name of your boss this openly without putting the honorifics Nim, especially considering how much a veteran and how much older Bang PD is compared to BTS. However, Suga name drops Bang PD as if he was his friend. We can sense that there is a very close bond and assume that Bang PD is very democratic with BTS. The fact that Suga is talking of Bang PD so casually is a flex of its own to others, as it's a sign that BTS has become so big and valuable to the company that he's at level with Bang PD. With Bang PD.
Okay, now how would I have known that? Okay, how would I have known that? I don't think that I miss a point for that. I think that particular one is more culturally related than it is artistically related. And so I don't think that you get a point or I get a point. There is no way. You didn't know it either. Anyway, because you read it somewhere. You didn't know it either. Whatever.
Now this is an interesting bit. Here Suga uses the Korean word 현타. Hentai is an interesting Korean slang that is used all around the internet. Directly translated as wise man's time, it is a word to describe the feeling you get right after you've ejaculated, yes, ejaculated, and you feel no more sexual urges and you have a moment of clarity in your brain. You feel still, present, and sometimes disappointed that the short moment of satisfaction was all you got and you worked so hard for it. This slang originated from Japan, but it has become a staple in Korean everyday language, and it is widely used in everyday life outside of sexual situations. Usually in situations when you finally got what you dearly wanted and you wonder, that was it? Suga's saying he's feeling extreme 현타 because he has it all. He has money, he has clothes, he has everything he ever wanted, and there's nothing, no one above him. While this could be considered a small cry for help, I think within the context of this song, it's more of a hard flex. He's saying, others can only dream of what I have, but now I got everything and I feel bored and disappointed. But you won't know how I feel because you never had any of this.
Now see, okay, I get a half a point. Because I said, I don't remember what I said. I don't remember what I said. I know that I knew that he was flexing. Now, again, the term Hyuntan, Hyuntan, again, that is cultural reference information that I would know versus artistic. So I wasn't supposed to know. I wasn't supposed to get it that easily. and you didn't get it either because you read it somewhere else. So I'm not losing a point for that. I'm not losing a point for cultural references. No, I'm not. Now, I don't know what the score is right now, but even if I'm not winning, I know I ain't that far behind. I'm not losing the points for cultural references that I would not even know. Now, if you want me to sit here and do some research for every word and reference that's used, you know, every time I do a reaction, even if it's not in BTS, but I'm just saying, then okay, you're gonna get one reaction a year. I'm just saying. I'm not losing no points. And you ain't getting none either. Not for no cultural references. That's not right. That's not fair. That's not. No, I'm not doing it.
Because you never had any of this. BTS has been on the top for the past few years, absolutely dominating, with a level of popularity that has never been seen in K-pop before. They're so dominant that it's sometimes easy to forget that they too had humble beginnings. In fact, more humble than most top artists out now today. They had to fight their way through discrimination, mistreatment, and humiliation. 대취타 is a reminder that this was where they started, and they took that system down. And it's also a warning that they had the resilience and the force to go through all of this, to go from slave to king. If you want us to make more videos like this, supporting us on patreon.com/DKDKTV helps us a lot. These explain videos get copyright claimed, thus we make no money off of them, 0 cents. So please consider supporting us on patreon.com/DKDKTV. For just a cup of coffee a month, you can get exclusive content and also help us continue our careers. And until next time, bye-bye.
That was good. That was really good. What I enjoyed about stuff like that, I mean, like, that's the kind of stuff I like. You know what I mean? And of course, I learned something new. I learned a couple of new things. So you can't beat that. You can't beat that. So that's why I like reading your comments, because you guys are telling me stuff. So, and I come over here joking with y'all, because I just like screwing around with you, to tell you the truth. I don't take any, any offense to any, well, I've had some really funky comments, but we ain't gonna talk about them. But anyway, I don't take any offense to you telling me and informing me and just giving me knowledge about whatever, or your perspective. I really don't. So keep it coming. If you let me run my mouth and say what the hell I want to say, how dare I, restrict the comments. So, and as a matter of fact, since we're here, since we're on the topic, since we're talking about community and whatever, I think Army is amazing. I do. I think Army is amazing. It just, for the most part, moment of silence. For the most part, no, you guys are absolutely amazing. You're welcoming. And I think I said this video number 1 or 2. And I genuinely felt that way. But here I am, almost a month in, and it's very comfortable. It's very heartwarming. It's very, I like it. I really do. I really think that you guys are just amazing the way you come together with community. And I get it because being a stan for Eminem, you automatically want to inform people and you automatically want to correct newcomers and say, wait, he's not this way, or you don't understand, or he's what he really means is this, that protective feeling. I totally get that. I've been doing that for Eminem since before 2000. Like, you know what I mean? So I totally get it. Some can do a little much. But I don't address the reason why I don't address them is because I don't have the energy. I'm about good energy. I'm about positive energy. Because at this point you know how I am. There are no in-betweens with me. I'm either in it or I'm not. So for me to give any energy means I give all my energy. And I will not stop to give energy to anything that is doing the globe no good. So I just let people do what they do. It's their opinion, it's their expression. I just don't like bullying. You ain't gonna bully me, in case you don't know. But bullying other people in comments when it's just all communication, it's just all conversation, it's just all opinions, it's just all fun. It's not that serious. It's not. And so I just thought maybe I should say that just in case, someone's trying to leave a comment and can't or something. Let me stop. Because I'm not going to give it the energy. I'm not. I just like good people. I like to be around good people. That doesn't mean you got to agree with anything. I am the queen of agreeing to disagree because I'm more interested in growing and understanding your perspective to either confirm why I don't agree with you or to consider another perspective. That's personal growth for me. Refusing to hear anything is not growth. So now some things that I've already made a decision about as a person or whatever in my life from my own experiences, I've already dealt with that. So you can't come to me with this riffraff and expect me to want to hear it out because I already know what that's about. But I'm talking about generally speaking, a person's opinion is valuable because there's something to learn. Doesn't mean that there's something for you to agree with. But there's nothing wrong with a healthy debate. There is something wrong with a fight. And I'm not going to fight about my opinion versus your opinion. We're just not going there. We're just not. But I welcome your opinion. Please tell me what you think because that's good. That's good stuff. So I just wanted to add that since we were talking about it.